Hello, I'm Kevin Mulrine, and today I'm hoping to show you a little bit about the process that I use to create choral demos in new AI software called Ace Studio. So, here we go. First of all, I start in MuseScore, and the reason I use MuseScore is essentially that I've been using it for a very long time. It's free, and it gives me what I need. So the reason I use it for composing in is because I don't play the piano, and for many years I find it difficult to hear what I've been composing. So really I've avoided composing for many years. However, more recently I've started using MuseScore, and then the problem with MuseScore is that the voices, as you probably know, which are built into MuseScore are not brilliant. You can, of course, use all sorts of different virtual instruments straight from MuseScore, but for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the AI Ace Studio to create my demo completely separately from MuseScore. So this is an anthem which I wrote, a choir anthem called Magnus Dominus. It's not my favourite anthem by any means, and this is how it sounds straight from MuseScore. Okay, nothing particularly exciting about that. However, I would like to hear it as if sung by a real choir, which is what Ace Studio enables us to do. So I will go to File and Export from MuseScore into Music XML. Now, I've no idea whether the compressed version of Music XML or the uncompressed version is better. I just keep it as it says, default situation. However, I do want all the layout. I don't want to miss anything out, so I keep that also at the default setting, and it's doing the main score, not any of the individual parts. So I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to save it in here, Ace Trials. And then in Magnus Dominus, you can see I've tried a few different versions. So this one I'm going to call Magnus Dominus New. Okay, there it's gone. It only takes a second. Now into Ace Studio, which is really the reason why I'm making this video, because I've been quite impressed with what it does, although it has a lot of quirks and has been updated pretty rapidly over the past, I don't know, about a year. I signed up originally to pay monthly for Ace Studio. It's not cheap, but it looked like it was going to give me exactly what I've needed for years, which is to be able to hear my anthems sung by an AI created choir, but a pretty impressive one, as I hope to be able to show you. So within this new project in Ace Studio, I'm going to import my Music XML files, assuming I can find them, all the way in here and into Ace Trials, Magnus Dominus, and the one I've just saved, which is this one. Open that. Do you want to apply the tempo and time signature and everything? Yes, I do. Thank you very much. So it's brought in for me soprano, alto, tenor and bass straight from the MuseScore XML that I've saved. Now if I just play this as it is, you'll see that it hasn't assigned AI voices to this yet. And in fact, it hasn't even assigned any voices at all. It's just kept it as a piano virtual instrument. So once we've done that, something that I've noticed that Ace has just started doing is playing music at the wrong pitch, playing an octave up. So before I do anything else, I'm going to click into double click into the soprano part there, and as you can see, that brings you, as in many digital audio workstations, DAWs, that brings you into a piano roll version of the music. And here we've got all the music an octave higher than it should be. So if I select the first one of those and then Command A to select all of them, and then the way I've done this, I'm sure there are other ways of doing it, but this is the way I do it, I just go down 12 semitones. Okay, which is a much more sensible place to be for vocals. Also on the alto, same again, a bit laborious, and presumably they'll fix this at some point. Okay, tenor and bass, I'm not sure if those are wrong or not. Yes, I think they are. Select them all. If you know why this all comes in an octave up and I'm just being stupid, then please do let me know in the comments. Alright, that's a much more sensible place for us to be. So I'm sure you're looking forward to the creation of the AI voices, and this is how we do it. I'm going to bring the mixer up now. So here's the soprano track, and if I click and select Generate Vocal from MIDI, then it gives us all the pre-made voices. There are also things like cloned voices. If you make a new one, you can record into this software and it creates a voice for you. There are also all sorts of voices that have been created by the community, and some blended ones that you can do yourself, and pre-made choirs as well. None of those are anything like the choir ones, anything like I want for my very traditional, classical, sacred choral music. So I need to start from scratch. So I'm going to go back to the pre-made. Now, it's important to realize that ACE are trying to create AI voices, but in an ethical way. So each of these people that you see in the photographs, I'm not sure if it's actually photographs of the people, I'm sure it's not actually, but anyway, these are real musicians, real singers, and each of them is being financially paid, compensated for the use of their voices. So they are trying, at least, not to rip anyone off with their AI processes. But let's get on with this. So what I want to do is to search for voices, click in there, and I can pull down key ranges. So I'm looking for a soprano, click on soprano, and it brings me back all the pre-made soprano voices that they've got. Now I happen to know that a good one to start from is Carolyn. So I just add Carolyn into the soprano. If I solo the soprano line, you can hear what it's done already and instantly that I've brought Carolyn in.
Great is the Lord, great is the Lord, and highly to be praised.
Okay, she's not singing in the right style for this piece of music that I want. However, she is instantly singing the words in a pretty decent operatic rendition of those. So that's great. So I'm going to go straight on and do the other voices while I'm here. Generate vocal from MIDI along to key ranges. Now, I've got soprano there, so I'm going to put mezzo soprano and turn soprano off, and then bring one of these mezzo sopranos in. Now, I don't think this voice is right either at the moment, but you'll see how we can alter that in a minute. But let's put Jessica in there and listen to what it's done for her voice. You can see that the AI is rendering, but it really doesn't take long.
Great is the Lord.
Not at all what I want, but it is amazing that it can pretty much instantly create a voice for me. So let's go on to the tenor. Key ranges, this time I want tenor and not mezzo-soprano, so let's see who I can get from here. Alright, I know Aaron is a good voice, so let's put Aaron in there, see how he does with that line.
Great is the Lord, great is the Lord.
Again, not at all what I'm looking for, but it's a good start. And finally, bass. Now, I don't think there are any basses, no. For some reason, there are no pre-made basses at all. However, there are baritones, so let's look at them. And let's see if I can find... Ah, yes. That person, Ale. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but anyway. There he is. Let's see what he does with the bass line.
Great is the Lord. Great is the Lord.
All right, so let's listen to the whole choir together as it is at the moment and see how close we are to getting something usable.
Great is the
Great is the Lord.
Great is the
Great is the
Lord, great is the Lord,
and highly, highly to be praised.
Okay, well, it's a choir, but clearly it's nothing like what we want it to be. So how can we start making a difference? Well, they've got these effects, which we can immediately make a big difference to their voices. At the moment, all of these are lead voices, and that's not what we want at all. Also, the reverb there's hardly any reverb, 10%, and it's also on hall, which I don't want, but I know that the second one is church. So if I change that to church and change the reverb up to about 27, and I'll do that straight away for each of these. Oh, that's the wrong thing. That's not what I meant. Get rid of that. FX, church, 27, FX, church, 27. I've already forgotten about the top bits. So the EQ, again, if we change that to choir rather than lead for all these, then that'll be a lot closer to what we want. And finally, the bass, 27 in a church and a choir. So let's see what difference that's made immediately.
Great is the
Great is the Lord.
great is the
Great is the Lord.
Okay, well, we're starting to get there. But the real power of the voices is that if we go back to Carolyn here, we can blend her voice with someone else's. So if I press on this and let's blend her with someone like Emma, turn down Carolyn, turn Emma up, and let's see what instantly happens to that combination. Oh, let's just solo it.
Great is the Lord.
Right, that's getting better immediately. Let's go on to Jessica. Jessica is totally the wrong type of singer for this. So let's turn Jessica right down and blend her with Emma. Turn Emma right up. Let's see what that does. So you can see how much time you can use up trying to come up with the right blend for your particular piece of music. Oh, that's not right, is it? Just noticed that. That should be 27. There we are. So let's hear what the alto sounds like now.
Great is the Lord. Great is the Lord.
All right, that's a lot more like I was thinking for this piece. So let's go on to the tenor. Tenor is not so bad, actually. Let's just listen to it. I mean, it's a bit too operatic, isn't it? So let's see who we can blend Aaron with. Let's go further down and blend Aaron with who we've already got on the bass. So let's have those two blended together and see what that does.
Great is the Lord.
Okay, that's not made as much of a difference as I'd like it to, so let's turn Aaron right down.
Great is the Lord. Great is the Lord.
Right, that's much less operatic, so I like that. And finally, Ale, I presume. Let's blend him with... Unfortunately, you can't with Robert. Unfortunately, you can't search when you're blending voices, which makes it a bit more time consuming, but you'll soon get used to which voices are which. Right, let's see how the bass sounds now.
Great is the Lord.
Not bad. Okay, so let's hear the whole of the choir now that I've just spent a couple of minutes making tweaks to the blend of the voices.
Great is the Lord.
Great is the Lord. Great is the
Lord, and highly to be praised.
Okay, it's pretty rough around the edges still. I'm going to show you another couple of techniques though. If we go back to the piano roll for D soprano, and if we have a look in this, what it shows us is the automatically AI generated pitch, and as you can see it's all over the place, and that's because there's quite a bit of vibrato on this voice at the moment. So if I again select one and then Control A to select them all, and I know from experience that the best way to switch off some of that vibrato is through the modulation control here. So here's the modulation control, and I can decrease the amount of variation in that pitch instantly like that. So if we now listen to the soprano, we should get a lot less vibrato.
Great is the Lord.
Okay, so that's really an impressive way that you can shape the sounds, and various other ways, as I say, you can shape them. So the other one that I've used extensively is for occasions where the AI software has a bit of a hallucination and just goes on the wrong pitch entirely. You can rewrite the pitch with the pitch brush. So if you didn't want any vibrato at all on this note, you can remove it and draw in exactly the pitches and the moving between the pitches that you want to have. So if we just listen to that. Now, obviously, I've done that deliberately, extravagantly, and you can easily ruin what you're doing. So I'm just going to undo that. Let's see. Yes, there we are. Back to as it was. All right. So that's another way that you can shape. And the other aspect of this that I wanted to show you is the way you can alter the words. So hold on, I need to go to note mode and then double clicking into here. If you don't like the way that the word is being sung, you can change either the word itself, change it dramatically to soft rather than and it very quickly will change that word.
So
Okay, and if you want to tweak it even more, you click into the sounds here. I've forgotten what that's called now. Anyway, these specific sounds of that, we can change soft directly into soft. Oops.
So kindly.
Okay, and so you can have an enormous amount of control and really very quickly change dramatic things about the words that you're using and the words you've brought from your music XML file, and change those, and also the way they are sung. I think it's incredibly impressive, this piece of software, the speed with which you can make significant changes to what you've got. All right, so just listen to that first phrase again with this, which has really just taken a few minutes to create this demo, and I would tweak it a lot more to get a final demo that I'm happy with. I would never use this software instead of real performers, but this is a great way, I think, of making demos very quickly, almost instantly, of the music that you've created in other pieces of software.
Great is the
Great is the Lord. Great is the Lord.
Lord, and highly to be praised.
If you'd like to see more about this software or anything else that I do in my composing, then please do leave a comment below, and you can subscribe if you want to as well to this channel. Thank you very much.